Kerry, I think from a business perspective, the company must decide what's the purpose of an expat assignment. Do they want to set up new business in a foreign country? Do they want to promote somebody internally to give him exposure and bring him back later from a promotional point of view? Or do they want a skills transfer the existing business maybe overseas? And therefore it's quite important that before they make the decision, they do their homework in the host country. For example, what's the tax issues relating there? Is there any exchange control issues? What's the business operational issues that they need to take account of when they start a business there or want to send staff there, especially immigration. If you look at immigration into Africa, it's quite difficult. And also setting up business in Africa is not the easiest of objectives to obtain once you've made the decision. So I think it's quite important that that homework must be done up front before you actually incur the cost.
Absolutely. What are the internal checks and discussions, and who in the organization should ideally deal with this process?
Well, as I said, I think the first person or people actually making the decision is the business line leaders. And they need to talk to the HR people, because you are dealing with a person, his family, his employment contract might be in place. So they have to talk to the HR people. Then the financial people from a finance department must get involved to make sure the costs are done correctly, the calculations are done. And then that's a team effort from all of these players in the organization that needs to talk to each other. Then they have to decide, once they've got together, to decide where this person is going to get paid, will he retain his benefits maybe on a pension fund, and where the payroll is going to be run, for example. So there's got a lot of detail that's involved in actually putting an expat assignment together. But as I said, teamwork is of utmost importance if you want to make a success of it. But just imagine if the expat assignment failed, it would cost the company a lot of money, because it's a very expensive exercise to do in the first place.
Right.
So I think it's very important that the teamwork is there and that they talk to each other and understand what's the purpose of this assignment.
Okay. And Kemp, what does a typical expat lifestyle include? Life cycle?
The first issue is the pre-assignment planning, and that's where I said some of the detail. Now you must get your service providers in place to do your immigration, who's going to do your tax advice in South Africa, maybe in the host country, for example. That's the pre-assignment. You must assist the assignee with packing and stuff, make sure there's medical aids has been sorted out, medical checks has been done, for example. And then once he's there, that's also quite important to look after him while he's there. If he's taking a family with or not taking his family with, that's quite important. Does he know, for example, what's going to happen with him in the 2 to 3 years while he's there? Will he get the bonuses? Will he be evaluated? And that's quite important. And once that's done, then while that's there, from your service provider's point of view, tax returns must be completed, work permits must be renewed. Everybody must look after that, because that person must go there and he must go and work. And that's his main purpose there. So all these other issues must be looked after by the company. And then the most important thing, which a lot of companies forget, is, for example, repatriation. Does he still have a job when he gets back here? Is there somebody that was junior to him has actually moved now ahead of him? And that they take account of it, and that they actually work with him and say, okay, this is what's going to happen when you come back. You're not going to be worse off. And then obviously it's a culture shock for an expat when they maybe come back after 2 or 3 years. Lots of things change in that country, in South Africa specifically. He might not be used to what's going on here, and he must be adjusted to that. And cultural training, especially when he maybe come back or when he starts, that's quite important that happens as well.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, that's all we've got time for tonight. Thank you, Kemp.
It's a pleasure.
So join us next week for more on this topic. Until then, goodbye.